It's not gonna matter as long as your camera's white balanced for that.
Okay.
Okay. If you use tungsten on the screen, use daylight on the subjects. If you white balance the tungsten, the subjects are gonna go blue, right? If you white balance the subjects, the screen's gonna go amber. So it's gonna shift out of color. So whatever you're doing, the Kelvin temperature, what you're lighting the screen with, has to match the Kelvin temperature of the camera. That green's not gonna be coming out green.
If I have a situation like I'm lighting my green screen in incandescent, but my subjects in fluorescent lighting, will that make a big difference?
Yeah, you'll have an issue.
Uh,
Yeah, because if you white balance to what the screen light is gonna be, your subjects are gonna probably shift green. What I would do maybe is if you're stuck with that situation, shoot it, let them shift, make sure the screen is the correct color, cut them out, and then recolor them. That's why I do that. Okay. The other thing is you use lighting gels on the fluorescent lighting to bring it down closer to Kelvin temperature of daylight. One thing about fluorescent light, let's even talk about that for a second. With Kelvin temperature, this shows you kind of, if you've got tungsten and then you've got daylight, let's say tungsten, let's say is 3,400 degrees, let's say daylight is 6,400 degrees. Somewhere at about 4,500 degrees is fluorescent light. Now, fluorescent light is closer to the Kelvin temperature of daylight than it is to tungsten. So if I have a mixed Kelvin situation, let's say I've got my stage lights, which are tungsten, I've got overhead fluorescent lights, and I've got blue light coming in from the daylight from the window, I got 3 Kelvin temperatures I gotta try and figure out.
That was mine.
Wow.
My squirrel.
Okay. But thought it might be going nuts there. Sorry about that. I've got 3 Kelvin temperatures, and even Avid barely can handle 3. Okay? Final Cut and all that stuff can only handle 2 Kelvin temperatures, so if you correct for 2, the other one's still going to be wrong, depending on what you're white balancing. What you might do is you might make this, if you got fluorescent lights overhead, you might make this all a daylight balance situation. Let's say we can't even correct those lights, but we got the stage lights and the window light. We can put a gel on the tungsten light, which is known as a CTV, which you can remember as color temperature blue. And this is a correction gel, which will correct this 3,400 degrees Kelvin temperature as like a certain now to about 6,400 degrees Kelvin, which is daylight. So now I could make all my stage lights also daylight balanced. So then if I go ahead and white balance to daylight, then everything that blue light is touching will be normal. I'll have just a little tint of green maybe to go ahead and have to deal with. If I went to tungsten, then this is going to stand out way more because this Kelvin temperature is a greater difference than this is to here. Okay. So if you do an all daylight balance situation, you might not even really get much read from the fluorescent light at all as far as Kelvin temperature. So it's all on what. There's also a gel. Let's say that I have a window in a room, and I'm using my stage lights to tungsten. Daylight comes to the window is blue. Right? I can either put a CTV on here and make this now all daylight, or I can put what's known as a CTO, which is color temperature orange, over the window, which will now convert the daylight, which is 6,400. As it goes through the gel, now it's converted to 3,400